everyone. So many people renovating or building their homes struggle with interior design ideas, and it's really hard to achieve a healthier and nicer looking space. So I'm Louise from Perway Construction Services, and today we've got the lovely Cara from Interior, her business Blend Interiors. And we'd like to welcome Cara to our call today. So she's going to help us with some information about interior design. So hi, Cara.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks very much for jumping on and assisting us with giving some education to our followers. So just really, Cara, to start off our conversation today, why would someone decide to hire an interior designer?
Look, home renovation, it's such a personal project. There's a lot of money invested, sometimes conflicting ideas on what should be done. Really, an interior designer is just there to give a professional opinion and help navigate the whole job for you. So we're there to make your life simpler so that you're not out on all your free time looking at products, spending time, I guess, going through magazines, article, all that stuff's important. But really, we just try to take the headache out of the nitty gritty for you. So we double check the codes. We find the materials that's best going to suit your lifestyle and your budget. And we present those rather than presenting every possible thing that's available. So we really just kind of help eliminate the headache, I think. So
condense all the decision making.
That's it. There's so many decisions to be made during a renovation project, especially if you're talking big renovations like a full home extension or somewhere like your kitchen or bathroom. That's what we're versed in. Like it's knowing the best product for the lifestyle and the budget, and just presenting those specific things that are going to suit you and your household.
Cara, so what are the most important elements of interior design in the home?
So the most important elements, I think, would be finding a neutral color palette to start with, because those kind of colors, they're really going to create a timeless design. Introducing some texture in terms of the materials you choose as well. So by that, I mean introducing different materials. So timber, stone, it could go into your furnishings as well. That's going to create some depth and layer and ambiance to your space. And then probably the other thing I'd consider, one of the most important elements would be your lighting. So it's always important to have natural lighting, but then also paying attention to lighting layers. So, your overhead lights and adding, I suppose, mood lighting to a room.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, that sounds really interesting. And do you know about any health benefits of that? Of any of those, the lighting or the natural effects or the textures? That I've read somewhere before that there is health benefits. Is that correct, or maybe that's a myth?
Oh, there definitely is. I think more, the use of natural materials, definitely. And when I design, I try to use, sustainable materials and, as natural as possible. I find some of the regulations around materials in terms of health, you just need to be aware, and it's a lot of research that can go into it. But I find probably in a health aspect, it's probably more in terms of mental health. So I think, even if you're looking at purchasing a home, you're going to be more likely to purchase a home that has great natural light through it, as opposed to a really dark interior. And there are houses that I've gone into that have had that dark interior, and the first thing they want to talk about is, okay, well, how do I make it lighter in here? And then kind of coming up with a game plan to introduce more light into the space. So
all right, cool. All right, thanks for that. What problems, Cara, would you find that customers face when they usually approach you first of all?
Well, with me particularly, I like to focus on the interior architecture of the space. So somebody would come to me if they're having a problem with their current floor plan or their layout, whether they need to rearrange the space, it's not working for them. If they, if they want a bigger bathroom, structural walls, that kind of thing, we can help advise on that kind of stuff to at least get the project started, I suppose. Yeah. And maybe come up, we offer a drafting service as well, so we can do floor plans. So being able to go and have a look at the initial site, but then coming back to put it into, a 2D plan to be able to walk a client through, that's, I think, what they like. So, so I'd say probably most of our residential clients is they've got a space that's functionally not working for them.
Okay, so you can aid with that. And that probably leads into my next question then, with what qualities do you think then a good interior designer should have?
First and foremost, you need to feel comfortable with whoever you're interviewing, because communication and trust is probably the utmost importance. A lot of the times with residential projects, we need to know you on a personal level. So that's getting to know you, getting to know your household, what each of you wants from the space or how you view the space. And then working to kind of come up with a plan that's going to make everybody happy. And sometimes with these renovation projects, they can go on for months. You work quite closely together, and you need to be comfortable with your interior designer to be able to give that kind of feedback and say, this isn't really what we were looking at. Can you come up with something else for us? So you need to have that level of comfort to be able to speak with somebody and be honest with them. So
perfect. Building that bit of teamwork and a nice relationship with them. It's very important then.
That's it. Yeah, and it's important you do it. And even from our end, like, I develop relationships and friendships with, the people that I work with, especially when they've gone on for over 6 months. So, you get excited when they get excited, and, you usually know that the kids are returning to school on Monday type thing. So it can be really nice. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable.
No, very good point.
Yeah.
And Cara, some people don't opt to have an interior designer, so perhaps they have budget constraints, or maybe they just have their own great ideas. So is there any tips that you could give someone that may not go down the interior designer route?
I've actually, like, on my website, I've done a blog about this recently. So whether or not I start your project or whether or not you go at it alone, the biggest thing you can do and the best thing you can do is it takes planning. You don't just see something on the block and go, oh, I like the look of that, and think that you can pull it off in your house. It might not, even though it looks nice, it might not resonate with your lifestyle or your budget. So by all means, find pictures of rooms you like on the internet, socials, Pinterest, any of the websites, magazines, anything like that. Start putting it away into a box. And then when you've got time, really go through those pictures and, kind of pick apart what you really like about that picture. If I sit down with someone, this is something I would do with them to get you thinking about what it is that you actually really like about that photo or that interior, and then be able to build on it from there. So if you've got a generalized roadmap of, how you want your space to look, that's always a great starting point, because it gives you some kind of direction.
Yeah.
Probably the other thing I would recommend, like when it comes to building, is don't always go with the lowest cost. Make sure you're comparing apples to apples.
I suppose that's all of the questions that I had ready for today. Is there anything else, Cara, that you wanted to give before we finish off?
Interior designers aren't scary. I think, in movies and stuff like that, we've been portrayed as, that we're only for, people that live in the Golden Triangle, or, interior design services are unaffordable. And that's that's not really the case. That's not how I run my business. I know that's not how my peers run their businesses. You know, at the end of the day, we just want to help create a beautiful space that's going to function and that's going to suit you and your family. Like, everybody should live in a beautiful home, and you know, we can help with those kinds of things, you know, while keeping your budget in mind. So
that sounds fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Cara, for today. So can you just let us know where we might find your website? What's your website, and how we might contact you if anybody wanted to you know, avail of your services?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm on, you can get me on the socials on Blend Interiors Perth. I've also got my website that has my portfolio, and that's at blendinteriors.com.au.
Fantastic. I'll pop it in the post as well, so people can access that quickly. But thank you so much for your time today, Cara. It was great to chat with you, and I hope that gives some value to people that might be considering using an interior designer, or if you want to go it alone, there's some tips and tricks there. All right, thanks everybody.